हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज के वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी क्लास 8 पॉलिटी, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर 6 अंडरस्टैंडिंग आवर क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। When we see someone violating the law, we immediately think of informing the police. You might have seen either in real life or in the movies police officers filing reports and arresting persons. Because of the role played by the police in arresting persons, we often get confused and think that it is the police who decide whether a person is guilty or not. This, however, is far from true. After a person is arrested, it is a court of law that decides whether the accused person is guilty or not. According to the Constitution, every individual charged of a crime has to be given a fair trial. Do you know what it means to get a fair trial? Have you heard of an FIR? Or do you know who a public prosecutor is? In this chapter, we use a fictional case of theft to try and highlight the process as well as the role of different individuals in the criminal justice system. Most cases go through the process that is similar to the one discussed in our fictional case. Therefore, understanding these processes as well as the role that different persons should play within the criminal justice system is crucial, so that if ever the occasion should arise, you are aware of the processes that should be followed. I plead not guilty and I claim trial. 18/7/2006. At their apartment in Mumbai, Mrs. Sindhe is getting dressed. She has been frantically searching for her gold chain for over an hour. I am sure it was here. It was in this drawer. Where could it be? Hurry up, we are going to be late for the wedding. I can't find my gold chain. It's not in the drawer. I suspect that Santi might have stolen it. She always spends a long time dusting my room. Santi Hebram has been working in the house for the past 3 years. Santi, have you begun to steal now? And that too my gold chain? Bring your trunk. I want to search it. We have called the police. So if you have the chain, return it now. Madam, I have not stolen it. Mr. Sindhe searches Santi's truck and finds an envelope with rupees 10,000 in it. He screams at Santi, saying that this is the money she has got from selling the chain. Saab, my brother and I have been saving this money over the last 1 year. We want to buy a bull when we go to our village. Madam, I am innocent. Mr. Sindhe has come to the police station. I have come to file an FIR. There has been a theft in my house. My maid Santi has stolen my wife's necklace. Yes. Sub-Inspector S.I. Rao records Mr. Sindhe's FIR. Mr. Sindhe returns with Sub-Inspector Rao. I will now write the statements that Mr. and Mrs. Sindhe make about this theft. Let me seal the envelope that has the money and take it with me as evidence. I am arresting Santi and taking her to the police station. Please don't let him take me. I have not stolen the chain. This is my hard-earned money. 19/7/2006. Susit, Santi's brother, arrives and pleads with the S.I. Rao to release Santi. She has been arrested for the theft for a gold chain. You can go to court and get a bail order. But where will I get the money to hire a lawyer? And who will stand as surety for her? You have taken all of our savings and sealed it. S.I. Rao forcibly keeps Susil in the police station for 2 days. Susil is abused and beaten by S.I. Rao and other police constables. They try and make him confess that he and his sister, Santi, had a gang of domestic servants that have stolen jewelry from other homes. There have been other complaints of theft of jewelry from Sindhe's neighborhood. As Susil keeps repeating that he is an innocent factory worker, the police let him go after 2 days. 23/8/2006. Although the court granted bail to Santi after a month, she was unable to get anyone to stand surety for her for rupees 2000. She therefore continued to be in jail. She is very traumatized. She is worried about what will happen during the trial. What will happen to me? I have not done anything wrong and yet I am behind bars just because madam suspects me. And the money that we have been saving, will I ever get it back? 14/9/2006. The police files a charge sheet in the magistrate's court. The court gives a copy of the charge sheet including statement of witness to Santi. Santi tells the court that she has no lawyer to defend her against this false case of theft. The magistrate appoints Advocate Kamala Roy as Santi's defense lawyer at the government's expense. According to Article 22 of the Constitution, every person has a fundamental right to be defended by a lawyer. Article 39A of the Constitution places a duty upon the state to provide a lawyer to any citizen who is unable to engage one due to poverty or other disability. Advocate Kamala Roy meets Santi in the court. Here are my case papers. I have been falsely accused of stealing my employer's gold chain. They found rupees 10,000 in Santi's truck and said that this was the money she got from stealing the chain, but that is the money that we have been saving up together. 11/12/2006. The court frames a charge of theft of Mrs. Sindhe's gold chain and possession of money rupees 10,000 got from selling stolen property against Santi. I plead not guilty and I claim trial. The trial before the magistrate begins. 8/3/2007. The public prosecutor appears in the case on the behalf of the state. He presents Mrs. and Mr. Sindhe as a key witnesses. So tell me, Mr. Sindhe, how did the gold chain go missing? I had kept my chain in the drawer. Santi stole it. No other outsider except Santi goes into my room. Mr. Sindhe searched her trunk in front of me and we were shocked to find rupees 10,000 in an envelope. Santi got this money from selling my gold chain. She is a thief. Next, Advocate Roy cross-examines the prosecution witness Mr. Sindhe. So, what you are basically saying is that you did not see Santi steal the chain, nor did you recover the chain on Santi. Also, in the 3 years that she has worked for you, nothing has been stolen from the house. You were also regularly paying her rupees 1,000 as salary each month. 24/2007. Advocate Roy examines Susil and his employer as defense witnesses. Through their testimony, she is able to show that the rupees 10,000 found in Santi's truck could well be the earnings of Susil and Santi. For 10/5/2007, as the trial is nearing completion, Susil learns that Inspector Sharma has busted a gang of young men who have been stealing jewelry from the Sindhe's neighborhood. Some of Mrs. Sindhe's son's friends are part of this gang. Mrs. Sindhe's chain has been found on them. Susil tells Advocate Roy about this. Advocate Roy now calls Inspector Sharma as a defense witness. Inspector Sharma, can you show and tell us what you have found? Here is the chain that has been identified by Mrs. Sindhe as hers. We busted a gang of boys who had stolen the chain. These boys have admitted that they stole the chain. 15/7/2007. The judge hears the testimony of all the witnesses. After the testimony of Inspector Sharma, Advocate Roy argues before the judge that it has now been established that Santi is innocent and should be acquitted. Santi, you are hereby acquitted of the charge of theft. The police will hand over to you the rupees 10,000 that they had sealed. In my written judgment, I have made it a point to highlight S.I. Rao's role in conducting such a sordid investigation that have made you spend time in jail. From the above incident, you can see that the 4 key players in the criminal justice system are the police, the public prosecutor, the defense lawyer, and the judge. You have seen the roles each of them played in the above case. Now let us try and understand their roles more generally. What is the role of the police in investigating a crime? One important function of the police is to investigate any complaint about the commission of a crime. An investigation includes recording statements of witnesses and collecting different kinds of evidence. On the basis of the investigation, the police are required to form an opinion. If the police think that the evidence points to the guilt of the accused person, then they file a charge sheet in the court. As stated at the beginning of this chapter, it is not the job of the police to decide whether a person is guilty or innocent. That is for the judge to decide. You read in Unit 2 about the rule of law, which means that everyone is subject to the law of the land. This includes the police. Therefore, police investigation always have to be conducted in accordance with law and with full respect for human rights. The Supreme Court has laid down guidelines that the police must follow at the time of arrest, detention, and interrogation. The police are not allowed to torture or beat or shoot anyone during investigation. They cannot inflict any form of punishment on a person even for petty offenses. Article 22 of the Constitution and criminal law guarantee to every arrested person the following fundamental rights: the right to be informed at the time of arrest of the offense for which the person is being arrested, the right to be presented before a magistrate within 24 hours of arrest, the right not to be ill-treated or tortured during arrest or in custody. Confessions made in police custody cannot be used as evidence against the accused. A boy under 15 years of age and women cannot be called to the police station only for questioning. The Supreme Court of India has laid down specific requirements and procedures that the police and other agencies have to follow for the arrest, detention, and interrogation of any person. These are known as the D.K. Basu guidelines, and some of these include: the police officials who carry out the arrest or interrogation should wear clear, accurate, and visible identification and name tags with their designations. A memo of arrest should be prepared at the time of arrest and should include the time and date of arrest. It should also be attested by at least one witness who could include a family member of the person arrested. The arrest memo should be countersigned by the person arrested. The person arrested, detained, or being interrogated has a right to inform a relative, friend, or well-wisher. When a friend or relative lives outside the district, the time, place of arrest, and venue of custody must be notified by police within 8 to 12 hours after arrest. First Information Report (FIR). It is with the registration of an FIR that the police can begin their investigations into a crime. The law states that it is compulsory for an officer in charge of a police station to register an FIR whenever a person gives information about a cognizable offense. This information can be given to the police either orally or in writing. The FIR usually mentions the date, time, and place of the offense, details the basic facts of the offense, including a description of the events. If known, the identity of the accused persons and witnesses is also mentioned. The FIR also states the name and address of the complainant. There is a prescribed form in which the police registers an FIR and it is signed by the complainant. The complainant also has a legal right to get a free copy of the FIR from the police. What is the role of the public prosecutor? A criminal offense is regarded as a public wrong. What is meant by this is that it is considered to have been committed not only against the affected victims but against society as a whole. Do you remember the case of the dowry death of Sudha that we read about in the previous chapter? The case against the accused Lakshman and his family was presented by the state. That is why the case was called State Delhi Administration versus Lakshman, Kumar and others. Similarly, the above case can be called State versus Santi Hemram and not Mrs. Sindhe versus Santi Hemram. In court, it is the public prosecutor who represents the interests of the state. The role of the prosecutor begins once the police has conducted the investigation and filed the charge sheet in the court. He or she has no role to play in the investigation. The prosecutor must conduct the prosecution on behalf of the state. As an officer of the court, it is his or her duty to act impartially and present the full and material facts, witnesses, and evidence before the court to enable the court to decide the case. What is the role of the judge? The judge is like an umpire in a game and conducts the trial impartially and in an open court. The judge hears all the witnesses and any other evidence presented by the prosecution and the defense. The judge decides whether the accused person is guilty or innocent on the basis of the evidence presented and in accordance with the law. If the person accused is convicted, then the judge pronounces the sentence. He may send the person to jail or impose a fine or both, depending on what the law prescribes. What is a fair trial? Let us for a moment imagine what might have happened if the judge decided to try Santi's case very differently. What if the court did not give a copy of the charge sheet and statements of witnesses to Santi? What if he held the trial in a secret location where neither Santi nor Susil were present? What if he did not give Santi's lawyer, Advocate Roy, enough time to question the witnesses of the prosecution, such as Mrs. Sindhe, and instead had already decided that Santi was guilty? If this had happened, then it would be a case of an unfair trial. This is because for a trial to be fair, several different procedures have to be observed. Article 21 of the Constitution, that guarantees the right to life, states that a person's life or liberty can be taken away only by following a reasonable and just legal procedure. A fair trial ensures that Article 21 of the Constitution is upheld. Let us now return to Santi's case as described in the storyboard and identify the essential elements of a fair trial. Firstly, Santi was given a copy of the charge sheet and all other evidence that the prosecution presented against her. Santi was charged with the offense of theft that was defined as a crime in the law. The trial was held in an open court in public view. Her brother Susil could attend the court hearings. The trial was held in the presence of the accused. Santi was defended by a lawyer. Santi's lawyer, Advocate Roy, was given an opportunity to cross-examine all the prosecution witnesses. Advocate Roy was given an opportunity to present witnesses in Santi's defense. Although the police filed a case of theft against Santi, the judge assumed her to be innocent. It was the responsibility of the prosecution to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Santi was guilty. In this case, the prosecution failed to do so. It is significant that the judge decided the matter only on the basis of the evidence before the court. The judge did not jump to the conclusion that Santi was the thief just because he was a poor maidservant. Instead, the judge remained impartial, and since the evidence showed that some young man and not Santi was the thief, he set Santi free. In Santi's case, justice was finally done to her because she was given a fair trial. The Constitution and the law both state that all of the persons that we have discussed in this chapter should carry out their roles in a proper manner. What this means is that they all need to work to ensure that every citizen, irrespective of their class, caste, gender, religious, and ideological backgrounds, gets a fair trial when accused. The rule of law, which says that everyone is equal before the law, would not make much sense if every citizen were not guaranteed a fair trial by the Constitution. तो ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज और ये है इस चैप्टर का ग्लोसरी. तो इसी के साथ हमारा आज का ये चैप्टर कंप्लीट होता है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सकें। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो हमारा आज का ये सेशन यहीं तक था। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।